So in your case, I want to talk about the people, that the top 5 people, right?
Okay.
Because you come from IIM and from Bain, I'm sure you've got access to like a very good network,
Right.
and the best talent, as we just spoke.
Right.
So tell me how that has shaped you in your career and in your personal life also.
Got it.
Like the top 3 things that you would have learned, which shaped you, which you were not earlier.
Right.
Okay, not in
Right.
terms of your value systems or something,
Yeah.
but it helped you build something, which made you what you are today, and which would also help you in your future.
Okay.
So top 3 things that you've learned from these people, and if you would want to even give the name of the person from whom you learned that aspect of life,
Got it.
not just professional, but
Right,
even
right.
personally.
Got it. I think the topmost. I think I learned this from one of my closest friends at Cal, and this. Actually, wait. I'm going to talk about something that I learned during my engineering days, right? Like, I was a very opinionated brat. Like, I had these very strong opinions, and then ki aisa hona chahiye, waisa hona chahiye, and stuff like that, right? Like, and I learned from one of my friends that in fact, was observing. It's not just like learning, right? You also observe people, and then he was able to make these seamless connections, right? If the other person doesn't have the same point of view as you can still exist with that person in the same room. You don't have to really like hate the other person or have a strong opinion, right? Like you can understand what he's saying and disagree and choose to disagree and have that opinion. ठीक है, like your stand is that हमको XYZ करना चाहिए. I'm an ABC person. Cool, fair. That's it. Like draw a line there. Then you don't have to really be like, hey, isko XYZ karna chahiye. He's different from me. He's bad. I think that perspective I got from a few people. Like I was not that. I was also like, hey, my ABC is sacred. I have to do ABC. Like why are you doing XYZ?
So you were earlier a person who would want to impose your things on
Yes.
others.
Yes. I would not say impose. Who earlier thought that my way of looking
Very
at
opinionated.
very opinionated. Like my way of looking at things is the right way to look at
Is the
things.
right. Okay, got it.
So what this does is you're able to now sit with a lot more opinions that are not yours, and some of them over a period of time you realize makes sense, right? Like today your opinion might be right, but then tomorrow somebody else's opinion starts making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So that's the topmost learning that I've had. The second learning is from IIM Cal, right? I used to be a kind of person who likes to know where things are going. Like, okay, today we're doing XYZ, we'll do this for like 2 years. Or even things like
Planning बहुत करना.
planning, want to know at least like ballpark where stuff is going in life, right? Like today, like what we'll do, like I'll do a podcast with Devansh. Should have done that. But thankfully now I don't have to because of this learning. So the learning here is that sitting with uncertainty. Like you don't really have to
Be certain about
thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and recently I think I've listened to a dressing room talk of one of these sports teams, right? Like they IPL only. So they'd lost the match and there was like a post-match dressing room session, right?
Which team?
Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Okay.
So and then the session, and then the guy says something like, hey, we don't have to reinvent our game. What we have to think is we just have to find those 1 or 2 balls in the innings where we'll do something different individually. Like you don't have to like start playing like a new player all of a sudden. Same thing, right? Like applies to uncertainty also. Like just think for the next 1 or 2 balls type equivalent in life, right? Just think. And as we go back to the original process, right? We have our process, right? Like we are thinking कि हम ये 5-6 things करेंगे. Just think of how you do the first 3 things. You don't have to think of the outcome as you said, and then be drive. That lets you exist with uncertainty, because in life you can't really draw the line from A to B. Say that it is A, B. So it is A, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then B, right? Sometimes it's not like a train station. Sometimes it's A, A1, A2, A3, and then something else, and then you'll reach B, right? Sometimes you'll decide you don't want to go to B after you reach A4. You're like, nahi, mujhe C jana hai. You have to live with uncertainty, and that happens. Okay. That's like that's a great learning that I had. It bothers people around me now. Now I say I'm so comfortable with uncertainty that people around me are like, yeah, like, isn't it bothering you that we've not planned? Isn't it bothering you that, like, I've become too much of a but that's still okay because then I give them this gyan कि no, it's fine, I'll figure it out, हो जाएगा, हो पाएगा. So that's there. So I think those are two things.
That's the same understanding with which we started this podcast also. There was no certainty.
Okay.
We just went with the flow.
Right.
हो जाएगा.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा नहीं होगा.
हाँ.
उससे नुकसान तो नहीं होगा ना मेरा. I'm not going to go down.
Correct.
तो जाना है तो ऊपर ही जाना है. Otherwise I'll stay where I am. So there was no same uncertainty. And that's how we just planned, went ahead, did everything, found people, good people to work with, etc.
Right.
Very uncertain.
So one of my friends had this theme in life ki ho paega. That's it. Like whenever I was very stressed out in life, right? Like we used to say to each other like ho paega. Same thing. Like I think the same thing I did in a podcast, right? You don't have to know all the steps, man. You just have to like there are 10 steps, 1 and 2 up karo, फिर देखते हैं वहाँ से क्या होता है.
Correct.
I think that is. So I told you two things. Yeah. Really, one more. Okay. I think one more would be to be a little bit more happier in the moment, right? I'll tell you what that means. I'll tell you what that means also, right? Like, irrespective of what the outcome is, like, you have to, like, live with yourself. Like, let's say you want to reach B, right? You really don't end up reaching B, right? But you're still an individual. And then you're like, it's a very, very high degree of self-reflection, right? Because you're an individual and then you have to be happy with yourself. So you can't be like, I wanted to go to the US, I didn't end up in the US. Or you can't be like, hey, I wanted something to happen. I wanted this relationship to work, this didn't work. Or I wanted this job to work out, this didn't work out. So it is fine. You can't punish yourself a lot. Like sometimes...
You can't punish someone else.
You can't punish someone else.
If you are, probably living with your parents,
right,
with your friends, you can't get that thing out on them.
You can't, like, it's a very human thing to do, to go and lash out at people. Like, you don't do it on purpose, but then it happens, right? Like, things bottle up, and then you're like, you say harsh things, you say stupid things, but that's just gonna like make things worse or bad. I'm sure that people around you will stick around. They're not gonna like go away just because you said something bad, but then you'll feel bad about it later, right? Like after you like cool down or after you have like some time to process it. I'm sure it happens to all of us. It might have happened to you also. Like things didn't, like 4 things didn't go your way, and then you kind of take it out on somebody else. But you know, that separation is very important. Like, and you have to like live with yourself. Okay, like you own up your mistakes and then you learn from it and then you kind of go out in life. But you really can't be like blaming yourself for all the shit that happens. You have to be happy. Like, you learn from it. I think the third takeaway is learn from whatever shit goes with you. Don't be like, shit has happened. Like you can't play the victim. You really can't play the victim. Be happy with yourself. Very bad card to play. Because then
people play it as a joker.
People play it as a joker.
That joker does not work out. In cards, it works out. Joker is a positive thing, but in life, that victim card joker is not very good. In fact, pulls you more down.
It pulls you more down.
Energy-wise, it takes
Correct.
you more down.
I agree. Like, I think a lot of people who listen to this podcast also can get this, right? Like, you can't play the victim, like, if you're down or if you're... like, pick yourself up, like, and you can't lash out at people around you.
That's okay. You can stay down also for some time.
You can stay down.
Don't make a huge hue and cry about it. You can stay down, take a back foot for some time. It's
okay. Correct.
I think it happens, and then you come out a little stronger once you get.
Correct. Like since we've discussed a lot of cricket analogies, like play the additional 2 balls. Like if your catch has been dropped, then make use of it. No, like or 2 ball khelo, like see the ball better, and then start after a while. Like you don't have to like throw your wicket away, no, just because you're playing badly.
True.
I think that's
got it.
A lot of sports metaphors, huh?
A lot of sports metaphors. Interesting. See, that's why I like guy-to-guy conversation. With a girl, typically, the sports part does not come with whomever we have shot. But okay, good. Coming to your social media part, right? I don't see you much active on LinkedIn specifically because, of course, the field that we are in, LinkedIn is the best social media tool. But I don't see you much active. You post very little. And
little to none.
Engagement is also very little. Why is that? Are you introvert and shy as a person publicly, or it's like it does not interest you? You don't find value into it. Like, what's the reason?
Like this could be on Instagram. I don't know what. This could be on Twitter and LinkedIn. I don't know about Instagram. Like Twitter
At
and
least
LinkedIn.
for our profession.
At least for our profession.
Yeah.
But I think I find it hard to do it for like multiple reasons. It doesn't come very naturally to me, Devansh. Like to a lot of people, it comes naturally, right? Like you kind of people can talk. If someone like you like ask me for a conversation, like I can talk brilliantly at hours one-on-one, right? Like I can give you opinions. We can discuss anything, right? From how to do gardening to sports to whatever, right? Like, but I really don't want to put it out there. Like for some reason, it's like it could be. I'm still thinking of why. I don't have an answer as to why. On the introvert part, it's right, I'm an introvert. So there's this MBTI test, which is this Myers-Briggs test. If you should also take the test if you're not. It kind of classifies you into what kind of individual or what personality you have. It gives you like 4 letters.
Okay.
So mine is an INTJ. The I stands for an introvert. So I think I am introverted in nature, but it's mostly a function. But if I trust the people around me, I'm all out, right? And on social media, I don't know, man. Like, to answer your question, it's quite hard. Maybe I'll learn it this year. Maybe it's a to-do thing that's been on my list since I've joined the fund, right? Hey, we'll do more this year. We'll do more this year. We'll do more this year. I don't know.
I think from what I observe from you, and I might be wrong, I find that you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of perspectives and opinions on topics, and you are very well read, well aware,
right?
Right, but you somewhere feel that if I'm going to put out my opinion somewhere, what will people say or what will people think,
right,
about myself or about what I'm saying,
right?
Let's say you have a very strong political opinion, but if you write it out there, you will first think about them,
right?
कि यार ये लोग क्या सोचेंगे, मैंने ऐसा क्यों लिखा, मेरे फंड वाले लोग क्या सोचेंगे, इनको शायद पता भी नहीं, I'm so much interested in politics.
No, they know.
Maybe I'm just yeah. Maybe your portfolio company does not know. But your portfolio company, let's say, it's from a state. Let's say it's from Odisha, for example.
Right.
And you've written something about Odisha.
Right.
Which might not be a very positive opinion or on a publicly positive opinion, right? You might have given a little bit harsh opinion, but it's your perspective.
Right.
तो वो क्या सोचेगा? So you might just think कि public क्या सोचेगी? ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि this is why you refrain from posting regularly or being socially active on these things. But when you're one-on-one, probably अच्छा
trusted space, safe space.
Trusted space है, तो ये बाहर नहीं जाएगा कहीं पे भी. तो वो मुझे ऐसा थोड़ा लग रहा है कि that's why probably you restrict or you refrain.
And one step in that direction is doing this podcast. No, for a person who's like not put anything on LinkedIn, I've doing this podcast. Feel like
it is. So it's a very good step. 100%.
Okay.
And then it has to garner into, of course, doing it more regularly, posting more regularly,
right,
and stuff like that.
Yes.